Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of dumb things that Alyssa Mercante at Kotaku has said.
Yeah, does she have sources outside of herself?
I don't know. We're gonna talk about this latest incident with Assassin's Creed Shadows, and she's actually getting called out by a Forbes video game writer this time, which I think is fantastic. Getting a little bit of backup here, saying the same things we've been saying, that she's basically doing it for attention.
Yeah, and then she always blames everything. Like it's like one. She lumps everybody into one category. It's either you're for and agree with her, or you're a bigot.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And look, this is a website that is on its last legs. I think she is doing whatever she has to do
To not have to be on her back again?
Well, yeah, I was going to say to get views, but yes, one thing leads to another. So let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
We don't want Alyssa Mercante to get any woohoos, do we?
No.
No. So, but I don't want to keep her employed at Kotaku either. But yeah, so she put this article out. This is about Assassin's Creed Shadows. This was never about anything other than hate. Now,
and the game was never about anything other than DEI inserts. I'm sorry. You're not going to argue. Right. The game is set in feudal Japan, that they're going on and on about how they did all this research and they were trying to be authentic as possible, even though it's a fictional game, would have a black samurai and a woman as the lead characters. Let's be honest here.
Right, and if you listen to the video yesterday, we talked about how the Japanese are over it. They're done with Assassin's Creed Shadows. There's lots of calls for even political action over there because they said they're retconning their history.
Yeah, but the thing is, the problem is what they're upset about, you know. But I guess they're all bigots, huh, Alyssa? The problem is that if they were very clear that this was just like some made up crap that they had put together, that that looks feudal Japan-ish. It's a fantasy world that looks similar to feudal Japan. Things like that, it would be okay. But that's not how they're presenting it. And people from Japan were talking about how they're upset that the West now thinks this is historically accurate because of this game and people are surrounding this game.
Right. People like Alyssa Mercante. So let's read her dumb article, and then we're going to go out and see what Erik Kain has to say. He's a Forbes video game writer. This is coming from Kotaku. This was never about anything other than hate.
Bullshit.
Movements.
Neither was her article. Wait. But neither are her articles. Make no mistake. Her articles are not about anything other than trying to hate on people that disagree with her. It's about her opinion being the virtuous one. Everybody else having an opinion is toxic man, bigot, bullshit. It's about her always being right and everybody else being evil. And she's doing the exact same thing she accused everybody else of doing. And she's doing it for attention. She's grifting the shit out of this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But it's okay when she does it because she's doing it for righteous reasons. But everybody else are a bunch of trolls and bigots. Even if you happen to identify in the ways that this representation is and you don't agree, you still are just are still like an outright Yahtzee. You're still the straight white guy because she says so. So I don't understand how what she does is any different. It's pot or kettle, and it's just because she's desperate for attention.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what this is about. So basically, this is God. Where are we on Gamergate 4.0 at this point? Because I would say Gamergate 2 was Hogwarts Legacy. And now we're getting into all the Sweet Baby Inc. and DEI stuff. And
she just keeps using her platform to try to like go after people like Groms and stuff like that because she's pissed about it. And then says that she's an actual journalist. She says that that's what they're doing, that they're just mining outrage. But that's all she does. We looked at her publishing history, and like at least 75% of what she writes has some obvious political angle. But it's okay if she does it.
It's okay if she does it. Movements for ethics in games journalism or against forced DEI in video games are diaphanous veils draped over bigotry. This is her way of showing.
So she knows how to use a thesaurus.
Yes, she wants to prove to you that she's the actual journalist, and that everybody else are just a bunch of grifters.
Use big words and talk in circles, but I'm the journo.
But an actual journalist from Forbes, which is a much bigger publication than Kotaku, is calling her out and saying that she's basically the hate monger.
That is what she's doing.
So yeah, she said on July 23rd, in response to the ongoing backlash against Assassin's Creed Shadows, they released a lengthy statement, which was a non-apology.
It wasn't an apology.
It was a
It was
non-apology.
talking in circles. It was basically like
Corporate speak.
You know, it was like we did all this research to do due diligence, but we aren't. But remember, it's a fictional thing. So why they kept like double speaking? It was just ridiculous.
You mad, bros? You mad? Fledgling but ferociously loud group of gamers will tell you the Assassin's Creed Shadows backlash is about respecting Japanese culture.
Including the people from Japan.
Including the Japanese
that
gamers.
is just a loud group of gamers. Yeah. Even though one of the biggest groups mad about it are the Japanese. But do go on, Alyssa, how it's just a bunch of straight white bigots. Go ahead.
The Japanese.
Go ahead, Alyssa. It's called research.
Refusing. I'm going ahead.
Go ahead.
Or refusing to accept woke ideology that are being forced into their games by consulting groups who hold no real power. But yeah, they do. They absolutely do. But just like, so Thomas Lockley doesn't have any real power because he's got the power to rewrite Japanese history to the point where there's an anime series based on his OC and there's a Broadway play based on his OC. And now Assassin's Creed is basing a AAA video game on his OC. But just like in 2014, Gamergate, during the first, oh my God,
during Trump in there too.
during the first full-throated iteration of Gamergate, this was never about anything other than hate.
Oh my God! Wait, go back up. Okay, so look, so she's trying to get every buzzword she can get into this article to make no mistake, this is about getting views.
Yes, which she's called out on.
The internet is a powerful place in between the world, and an imaginary and a rhetoric can be rhetoric can be weaponized to bleed into real life. Blah 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 blah. Athletes engaged journalism broke gaming containment with such ferocity that politicians took note. Steve Bannon, Donald Trump.
Oh my God.
Breitbart.
They get Yiannapolis in there too. They do. Yeah, they do.
Because people are mad about the game because they're expecting feudal Japan and they're not getting exactly what they expect. But who is the most angry and vocal about it? The Japanese. But yes, Donald Trump and Bannon. Okay,
oh my
Alyssa.
God, she's trying to blame gamers for January 6th.
Are you serious?
Harnessing that power. Now you're playing with
God.
power, insurrection power.
I thought she was a journalist.
Harnessing that power forever changed the landscape of mainstream politics. Many believe it directly led to both Trump securing the election and the Capitol riots.
Whoa! Gamergate and people not liking DEI in games. Guys, you heard it here from the hard-hitting journalist Alyssa Mercante. That's what caused Trump to get elected last time and the Capitol riots. We all know what she was probably doing then for money, but that's another story entirely.
Oh God, I love this is such a 2014 article. Part of what ensures this army remains active is constantly feeding them things they should be outraged about.
Says her, who's constantly writing outrage article over after outrage article. She is throwing kerosene on the fire constantly, sitting back and laughing and saying it's all everybody else.
For Trump and his ilk, it was a veritable laundry list of perceived problems only he could fix.
But wait a minute. This article just assumes everybody who doesn't agree with her is a Trump supporter. So that is how unintelligent this woman is. She thinks that if you disagree and if you don't want, the stuff they're shoving into games for no good reason and all that stuff, it's because you're Republican and support Trump. Even though there's a lot of people who are independent, a lot of people who are Democrat who don't like these games either. She's trying to tie not agreeing with her to being alt-right and being a terrible quote-unquote person. Oh, that's what she's trying to do.
Yeah.
That's how up her own ass she is. And I'm sure her ass is stretched pretty good, so there's lots of room.
The reactionary right movement in gaming that has reared its ugly head yet again is no different. And it's happening right now for a reason.
How do you know everybody's Republican who's disagreeing with you? How do you know that? You don't.
Just like 10 years ago, political ire is bleeding into pop culture where it's been seized upon by those looking to take advantage of naive, impressionable young men who are shunned in public but lauded or even loved online. There are countless studies and stories proving that the radicalization of male youth has been propped up and perpetuated by the internet. Go read them. They'll convince you far more effectively than I can.
Because everybody who disagrees with her is a dude. Last time I checked, Alyssa, I have boobs. I still think you're full of shit, and I think you're a better sex worker than you are a journalist.
Oh my-
I've never experienced your sexual offerings, but I'm sure that you're much better at that than being a journalist, because you suck at being a journalist, but you suck at sex work.
Holy hell. She's just going on. Okay, this is the most 2014 Gamergate article ever written, but it's written in 2024. So yeah, we're in a time warp here. She's
trying to make it happen again. So she can be the new face of Gamergate. Yeah. She can go scream. She can get herself book deals. She thinks it's going to make her a celebrity. That's what this whole thing's about. But she goes on and on and on. Again, I want to remind you, the people who are most upset about this game are the Japanese people, because it's their culture, it's their history. But do go on, Alyssa.
They're talking about, all the attacks. Oh, before the trans voice actor from Final Fantasy 14. I didn't hear anything about that. The black lead in the Star Wars show existing. That wasn't the problem.
That wasn't the problem.
The Dungeons and Dragons orcs going woke. That was my fault. And I take full responsibility for that, because it was really freaking stupid. And it got bled over from, again, you want to talk about politics, bleeding into pop culture. It was people trying to cancel Tolkien that decided that the orcs were stand-ins for minorities, and how stupid that was. And then D&D picked it up because those same perpetually outraged people, like the Alyssa Mercantes, got into tabletop gaming and decided that everything was a problem.
But wait. But this is like every buzzword she can think of. Tiana's buying Adventure at Disney World. Tiana's buying Adventure.
Warhammer.
Well, she don't want a list of things that Grums talks about, and making a list and then bringing every one of those up or something.
God, I don't know. So this is like, you can go out and find this article for yourself. It's absolutely ridiculous. It is the most 2014 article.
Because she's trying to make herself the face of Gamergate 4.0, 5.0, where the hell it is now.
So meanwhile, we have Erik Kain, who writes for Forbes, and who I don't think is anti-woke. I mean, he seems pretty balanced from stuff I've read from him. He said there are certainly hateful and bigoted people angry about Assassin's Creed Shadows, but Alyssa Mercante engages in such bad faith. Truth is, she relishes this shit. And it's far easier to say it's all just hate than to bother with cumbersome nuance. Yes, again, the nuance being the Japanese are angry not just about the Yasuke situation, which again,
there's several reasons. They have grounds to be mad.
Right. It was we have an Assassin's Creed taking place in feudal Japan without a Japanese male lead, which would have been the case if you're playing a samurai 99.99999% of the time. But also Chinese architecture mistakenly used in place of Japanese architecture. A lot of things.
They've been stealing. They swipe people's flags and different
stealing
cultural
imagery.
things.
Right.
And they're very upset about it for good reason. And, other people are there people that are just mad because it's like, oh, black guy. Yeah, I'm sure there are. But is that the majority of the reason people are angry about it? No, it's really, truly not.
No. And she is engaging in bad faith. She is exactly what she claims the other side is doing, except she's doing it on her side. And this is a throwback 2014. I think at this point, and I've said before, I think she knows she's fucking done. I think she knows Kotaku's toast. I don't think she cares. I think once she's done from Kotaku, she knows because there's no video game industry left.
That's why she's trying to make herself the face of this Gamergate. She's trying to restart it to make herself the face of it, so she has something to jump into.
But ironically enough, the face of Gamergate before was Brianna Wu, and Brianna Wu's actually turned on these people and said they've gone too far.
Yeah, because people like Alyssa Mercante are being ridiculous.
Yeah, she wants the attention.
Not agreeing with Alyssa does not mean that you're automatically an alt-right Yahtzee bigot. There's a lot of women who don't agree with her. There's a lot of LGBTQ people who don't agree with Alyssa Mercante. There's a lot of people who aren't white who don't agree with Alyssa Mercante. It's just this whole idea that you have if you're not agreeing with her, you're one of these terrible things. Is absolutely laughable and ridiculous.
Oh my God, she jumped in the comments, and weirdly enough, I'm not blocked. Wow, I thought I'd be blocked. She must have So she jumped in the comments and she answered Erik. She said, Erik, let's not go there with bad faith. Stick to wearing athletic shorts with sandals at work events, writing at an 8th grade level. That's why she put that big word in there.
So right here.
And using me for clicks.
So she just proves it again. It's not bad faith. Then she picks on his attire. She doesn't bring up about why it's not a bad faith, actual fact-based argument in regards to what he's saying against what she's saying. No, she acts like a 5th grader and makes fun of I'm going to say 5th grader because you act below his level. And she makes fun of his athletic shorts and sandals. That was your go-to. That's your defense, Alyssa. It's not bad faith, even though it's completely bad faith. It's because you wear shorts and sandals.
You've been riding my ass since 2021. Did he pay for that?
I was gonna say I wonder how much you charged for that because you were charging before.
He says, as far as I can recall, I've written precisely one thing before this tweet that even mentions your name. And if I post about Elden Ring difficulty from 3 years ago qualifies as riding your ass, you need to get a grip.
She doesn't matter he didn't pay.
Faulty Owl says, oh, come on now, Eric. With her plucky can-do attitude, she'll be writing for a real blog any decade now, and then you'll be sorry.
Exactly.
If
she has to catch up to his 8th grade level first.
He's writing for Forbes, you're writing for Kotaku. And this has been years. Like, he's been writing for Forbes for years, and she's been writing for Kotaku for a while. And
there's women on here, coming and commenting and stuff too.
Oh my God. Grum says, forget nuance. She won't even cover the biggest gaming story in Japan right now. Everybody is actively deciding not to cover the Japanese reaction to Assassin's Creed because it helps the Chuds narrative. Basically, Japan is not having it. They're not happy about it. They're even threatening political action because they're like, Ubisoft is trying to rewrite our history and pass it off as actual history.
I like this one, though. Yeah, well, that one. You can read that one. I'll read another one. Go ahead.
Which one? I'm reading this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
AI Emerald Apple says, Alyssa is basically the face of what's wrong with modern journalism in general. She writes for her audience of clapping seals that will cheer for her no matter what she writes, while alienating the actual audience of normal gamers. Nobody's reading Kotaku. This is the problem. There are no more clapping seals. There are no more normal gamers even going to this website, even watching their videos. Their videos couldn't even break 1,000 views, and they have like 300,000 or 400,000 followers on YouTube.
I like the next one. You should tell that to your friend Paul Tassi, because he is the Alyssa Mercante of Forbes, because he also sees it in a binary black and white way, not bothering about the nuance, facts, legit concerns that people have or certain topics. It's like this mentality that I keep seeing. If you have a valid criticism, if you have a point, you have something that you don't like about it, but you don't like it, your criticism isn't valid because you just hate something. But everything else they say is completely valid. It's because you're a bigot, not bigot. It's your points don't matter. And then if these same people get mad about something and they have criticisms, those criticisms are valid because they're them. And I'm so tired of hearing about it. But yeah, they're just like, she is just, I mean, if you just look at that article, and it's not even about the actual situation. No. She's just throwing in a blender of everything she could think of to try to garner attention, backlash, clicks, whatever, so she can say, look, I'm bringing it, is what the whole thing is. It's all for attention. She gets caught out. Instead of actually giving, factual-based reasons of why she's not wrong, she insults someone's shorts and shoes. I guess I can't say much because I keep insulting her for, being a slut. But,
one of these things is not like the other. It's like, you're a slut. Well, you wear socks with sandals. So there. Which is the bigger crime, which is the bigger shameful thing. So most of the, this is Moofy Man. Moofy Man says most of these hateful and bigoted people are Japanese.
That's exactly.
Yeah, they're rightfully pissed off. Why would anyone pay attention to a leftist woke trash publication like Kotaku, whose journalists see everything through a lens of race, gender, and sex? Nobody is. That's the problem. The reason she's doing this, and it's as simple as that. I don't think she believes this 100%.
I think she does believe it.
She does, but she's not the cartoon she plays online, I don't think.
She thinks that she is the virtuous voice of gaming. And virtue and her are not two things I'd put together on a good day anyway. But,
Yeah, I just think that a lot of these journos are getting more desperate. They're basically what they're trying to do. And I've seen this before. This has happened with like anti-tube. I've seen like anti-YouTube to YouTube.
Anti-YouTube, tubity-tube.
Tubity-tube. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. So we've got YouTubers that are critical of pop culture. And then we've got YouTubers who are critical of YouTubers who are critical of pop culture. And it's like they think if they're going to be a 180 that they're going to get like the same notoriety. The reason that the critical YouTubers take off is because a lot of people agree with them.
Right. If no one thought that, they wouldn't go anywhere.
If you were truly a vocal minority, the videos talking about the Assassin's Creed situation would get a couple thousand views and nobody would care.
Ironically, the ones that are anti pop culture people don't go anywhere.
No, that's what I was going to bring up, because there were like a group of people that they were going around, and they were like the anti-tube or whatever. I forget what they were calling themselves, but they're like, we're like real fans. These people are like fake fans. We're going to sit here and bitch about, these people bitching about things. And it was like nobody watched them. Like, I really appreciate all you guys, but I know that you're only partly here for us. You're mostly here to hear about the topics, and we're not that interesting. So, like, for people to do videos talking about us, it's just like nobody gives a shit.
I know, right? They're like, who cares?
Because we were like, I'm looking at YouTube right now, and I'm looking at all the streamers that are imploding. There's like all kinds of drama with all these streamers right now. And there are more allegations coming out about a certain very notable YouTuber and his crew and all that. And I'm not going to get into that here, but like, we are the most boring people on YouTube. I swear to God. So we know that you're here for the topic and not for us.
We're going to have to wrap it up here soon, but I want to end it on this guy's comment. I like it so much. What I don't understand about people like Mercante is how they never get bored of aiming at low-hanging fruit and setting up such a childish, simplistic dichotomy between herself and her opposition, and yet she carries herself with such an air of sophistication.
She uses big words, and she doesn't write on 8th grade level, and that her whole article was basically her proving that she was a better writer.
No, it wasn't. Her article was dog shit.
But the way she wrote it, she was like, look, I know all these big words, and I know how to.
But as an editor and as somebody who works on articles and stuff, it was so convoluted and it was so off the topic, and it starts out, it's just so it's so obviously full of just clickbait words.
Yeah.
And just trying so hard to connect. It was a tinfoil hat to the umpteenth level. That I would look at this and be like, I wouldn't say that she's above 8th grade level. This is like middle school, click screaming about something. Yeah,
try hard.
Exactly.
I used to get articles like this, op-ed pieces, when I was an actual editor in an actual newspaper. And it was like, okay, it's basically, you can distill this down. And that's how I would look at the quality of an article, is like, you take all the fluff out of it, you take all the big words out of it. What are you actually saying? Is there information here? Is there a valid point here? And her point is, she's angry that you're angry about these.
And you're just a big fat poopy head. You're why Trump got elected, and you're why the January 6th happened, even though you had nothing to do with it. And you're all Republicans. You're all Republicans, and you ruined gaming because you're all Republicans, and you're all stinky men and Republicans. And, I'm like, for heaven's sakes, but yes, she is the intelligent one. She's
batshit.
Anyway.
She's absolutely batshit. Okay, we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.